the Minnesota Timberwolves did not lose yesterday. And I think I have decided, after much thought and consideration, because everybody has their favorite player in the league, right? Yeah, but that's different from your favorite player on your favorite team.
Okay.
Like if you're a Kings fan, your favorite player in the league is probably like Domas or De'Aaron. Maybe it's Keegan.
I think
maybe
there are a
it's
lot of
Monk.
kids who love Keegan because of the Keegan Murray chant.
That's a great point. So, yeah, but that's your favorite. That's your favorite player on the team. But then there's like when you're watching League Pass, or you're watching a national TV game, or you're watching the playoffs. There's another player on a different team that you're like, God, love that guy.
Yeah, I want that guy on my team.
Anthony Edwards is officially that. Like it's been trending that direction for a long time. But I'm just there now. I will follow Anthony Edwards to the end of the earth. I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I would die for Anthony Edwards. I just don't know.
You give up a kidney for Anthony Edwards.
If he needed one, I'd be like, yeah, I got you, bro. I'm in that. I'm all in on this guy. And whether that's face of the league or you want it, the next Michael Jordan stuff needs to relax. Like, let's calm down on that. But I just don't know when you talk about young players in the NBA right now, and we always talk about by association, we talk about kind of the old guard phasing out, the Kevin Durant and the LeBron James and Steph Curry and Kawhi Leonard. Like all these guys are in their mid to late 30s now. And so now there's this new age of young star coming up through the league. And I just don't know, with all due respect to Victor Wembanyama, who was the unanimous rookie of the year, with Chet Holmgren, who got 98 of the 99 second place votes, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's a young player I'd rather build around right now than Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I think he's probably 1A, and then 1B is Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with somebody who takes Wemby.
Yeah. I mean, because you can see where Wemby can be the centerpiece of everything.
Yes.
But a centerpiece of everything doesn't mean that he's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Anthony Edwards is proving right now he's a winner.
Yeah.
I am a winner.
He sure is.
I'm a winner.
Yeah. He's also the face of the league.
It feels like he's
like Scotty Barnes.
There's oh boy, is he.
Scotty Barnes.
There's just something about the way he plays basketball. And I rock with Wemby too. Like I said, don't get it twisted. This is not like, I don't like. I think Victor Wembanyama is going to win titles in his career.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not anti Wembanyama here, and I love the fact that he's like, why are people celebrating this? We are losing. I don't care. I am here to win basketball games. It's like, dang, I love that guy. But Ant just plays with a level of joy that. That's where the Michael Jordan comparison falls apart to me. Anthony Edwards smiles all the time. I never once saw Michael Jordan smile on a basketball court.
Unless he was smiling because he just absolutely ripped your soul out.
Right, exactly.
And stomped on it like 3 times.
Which Ant does, but I think with a healthy respect for his opponent, with the idea that like this is a show and I'm performing for the crowd. I love everything about everything Anthony Edwards is doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about a kid he's 22 years old, and you just see that there's still an unlimited ceiling.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he goes, because his game is, like there are other players that are similar in style, but not in force.
Yeah.
And that's where I think he's taking it. Like, again, Donovan Mitchell has a lot of the same game. He's not as big, but a lot of the same game. It's just that he doesn't always play with the force that Edwards does. And all of a sudden we're seeing a kid who, I mean, how many times have we seen him like hit his shoulder on the backboard?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like trying to block a shot. And it's just, it's absolutely crazy. It's his athleticism, but also his balance and his strength. Yeah, he's going to be an absolute gem to watch for the next decade. He's going to be like one of the faces of the league without any question.
And the fact that he's 22, and again, this is all not, I'm typically a numbers driven person when it comes to sports. I want to be able to look at something tangible and say, this backs up my opinion.
Yep.
But there's intangible things that come with this, like, hey, this is because it's illogical. Like, this is my favorite guy. This is the guy I would choose to hypothetically build a team around. The fact that in this spot, this 22-year-old kid is looking at Karl Anthony Towns, who's made all-star teams in the NBA and has been around, who's looking at Rudy Gobert, who is he a Hall of Famer?
Gobert?
Yeah.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer because of the Defensive Player of the Year, and
Right.
and if they win a title, he'll be Ben Wallace.
Sure. So so Rudy Gobert is defensive wizard, been around, been through it, been doing it.
Yeah.
Jaden McDaniels, also young but got paid. He's a guy. Mike Conley's there, veteran. He's been around. And Anthony Edwards looked all of them in the face and was like, I got this.
Yeah.
We're going to go toe-to-toe with the Suns and beat the heck out of them. And then we're going to go into Denver and we're going to go toe-to-toe with the defending champs and we're going to beat the heck out of them. There's just a mindset there that I think is kind of rare.
You know what? I think this is, how I would kind of put it out there. His mindset is so focused on winning that he has been able to take two guys that were never known as winners, and Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, and make them into winners.
That's a great point.
I mean, that's like watching Towns go like, whoa, Towns is feeding off of Anthony Edwards. He is. You can watch. All of a sudden, he's playing with a force and a physicality that he just never played with before.
It's why you and I both had. I've liked the Timberwolves, but I put them as a team that, they can definitely beat the Suns in the first round. But after that, it's like, man, how much do you trust Rudy Gobert? How much do you trust Karl Anthony Towns?
You don't trust him at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
That was the miscalculation for me. I had no doubts about. Now, did I think that Ant would play at this level through 6 playoff games? No, I don't think anyone did. He's been ridiculous. But I thought he could go out and be the guy for them. But it's like, man, you got to go into Denver, and it's going to be him against everybody because Cat isn't going to show up, and they're not going to get anything from Rudy Gobert offensively. They never really do. You can't trust Jaden McDaniels. Like, what is it's? I thought this would be the end of the line for them. And then you see the way Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert played in that first series. You see how they played the first 2 games here. And like you said, I hadn't even thought about that angle of it. But, man, that is a direct response to what Anthony Edwards is doing from out front. And, man, it is very, very impressive.
Yes.
The Nuggets are melting down in the way I thought the Timberwolves would. Like, that's what I expected. The technicals and the throwing stuff on the court and all that, like that seems like the kind of thing that you would expect from the team that did not just make a title run and did not make several deep playoff runs before that.
Yeah, they just look like a team that's never dealt with adversity. They look like the bubble dude, the guy who walks around and who's just so good looking, has no idea that there aren't good looking people like him.
Right. He doesn't know how the real world works because he's always gotten special treatment.
Exactly. So I don't know. Like they are not dealing with adversity well at all. And then I don't want to hear people making excuses. Well, Jamal Murray just doesn't look like he's healthy. And it's like,
because he's getting put in a straitjacket.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look like he's healthy because they're not letting him go anywhere on the court.
Yeah.
He's so frustrated. He literally threw stuff on the court. He might get suspended for game 3.
I would be kind of surprised if he didn't.
I would be too.
He just threw something onto the court during the game.
I think there were multiple things that he threw on the court, but not all of it flew all the way out. Like there were towels as well. Just lost his mind.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And that's where somebody in the chatty house at youtube.com/ESPN1320, somebody in the chatty house was like, series is far from over.
Yeah.
The Nuggets got to figure it out quick. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I would call the series pretty close to over. If the Timberwolves get the next one,
oh no, it's over.
It's done. Like it's done.
Yeah.
And this Nuggets machine, this thing that you and I kept talking about, like, man, this Nuggets team looks super dominant. Just look at the way, man, they fall behind 20 to the Lakers, and it's just this machine just plodding forward, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, the Timberwolves have answers. And I think the Nuggets' frustration is built from and is born out of looking around and going, oh, we don't have the horses for this.
Or
if it's not,
wait a sec, we're not way better than you guys?
Right.
That's it's like they're surprised.
You're just not folding when we go on a 9-0 run?
Yeah.
That's where, old reliable of the Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic pick and roll. Not working. And then, the Jokic, he rolls downhill and he throws that lob to Aaron Gordon. That's not working. Okay, well, Aaron Gordon will throw him on their best perimeter player and we'll just gum up their offense. Nope. Anthony Edwards too fast for him. He's too big for Jamal Murray. So what? All these answers that they always have for all these different teams, don't work.
Yeah.
And Michael Malone is a fantastic coach. And so if you told me that the Nuggets figured this out in some way, hey, and they took one in Minnesota, they won their game at home, they won the next one in Minnesota and forced a game 7, I'm not doubting that at all. I would not be shocked. But at the same time, through 2 games, I don't know what that adjustment is.
Yeah, I'm not sure either what it is. And I will tell you what it can't be is Aaron Gordon pulling up and shooting mid-range jump shots and taking people off the dribble. Like everything that was happening in that game looked like it was so forced and so uncharacteristic and so regression to who you are as a bad player.
Man.
You know, typically that team rises to the occasion. They just systematically destroy you. All of a sudden it's like, oh no, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you got to pull them aside. Like, what are you doing? Why are you pulling up for mid-range jump shots off the dribble? Like, what is happening? That's not who we allow you to be as a player on this team. And all of a sudden you're trying something new today?
They're grasping at straws.
Oh yeah.
There's just nothing as great as Nikola Jokic is. There's just he doesn't have the answer right now. I don't know if he's out of gas. I don't know if he's still calculating how to figure out how to beat this Nuggets, this Timberwolves defense. But when I saw that Rudy Gobert was out last night for the birth of his son, congratulations to Rudy Gobert and his family. But when I saw he was out last night, I'm like, man, the Nuggets are winning this game by 20.
Yeah.
They're just that Gobert force in the middle is not going to be there. And Jokic is going to pick them apart. And then they got blown out.
They played him off the court, which is something that has never happened.
Ever. They scored 80 points.
Yeah.
In an NBA playoff game.
We always talk about Gobert getting played off the court. Jokic got played off the court last night. They just went to Naz Reid. Like, you can't hang with Naz Reid. He's too fast for you.
Yep.
And then Karl Anthony Towns just running through people. Like, what in the world?
It is the Karl Anthony Towns transformation.
Yeah, it's wild.
Insanity.
Yeah.
And if this is where, if you had told me before the playoffs, hey, you're going to get this version of the Timberwolves. You're going to get Rudy Gobert playing like a monster. You're going to get Karl Anthony Towns playing like the player that everybody's wanted Karl Anthony Towns to be for the last 7 years. Like, oh, okay, now that's interesting. And here we are.